Are you excited to learn about the powers that the Queen has? You excited to learn about the
I couldn't open my drink,
bottle
so.
opening? Are you excited to learn about the powers that the Queen has?
I think your stomach is. Hey!
Hey, hi.
Welcome to the Natasha and Debbie show.
Hello.
That's brutal. Just two patriotic girls, so please don't take us the wrong way. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Good to see you. Thanks for joining in today. Welcome to the Natasha
And Debbie show.
Today we have some really cool stuff. For one, we have our very first ever P.O. Box gift.
Yay!
I know, like a 5-year-old child.
Right.
And we'll open that in just a moment. Before we do, please like the video and please consider subscribing to our channel. We always say the more the merrier. You know, it's always more fun to share with more people.
Absolutely.
So today we're going to do a cool video about what powers does the Queen of England actually have. I have no idea. So this will be eye-opening. I'm excited about this one a lot, actually, quite more so than I have been about a few.
Mm-hmm.
So really excited. But I'm also more excited right this minute about opening our very first P.O. Box gift. It's like Oprah. Sorry, I'm just stupid excited. Just so you guys know, so this is our very first one, and this comes from our friend Lee Miles. Thank you, Lee, for sending this.
Thank you, Lee.
Really appreciate it. So before I open this, I will say, Debbie brought this home today after work. She checked the P.O. box like almost every day. And this has killed me to wait a couple hours to open this. So I'm not going to promise we're going to open every if we get other things, that is, that we'll always open them on the video, because I am way too impatient for that. But I will say, if we do get other things, we'll always at least show you. We'll always put it on the video.
Yes.
Not necessarily open them on said video.
Very.
So this is from Lee Miles, and we're super excited. And we're going to go ahead and open it. It's so cool. Look, the Natasha and Debbie show.
That's nice.
It's just call me a nerd, but hey, it's our very first. So you do the honors. I'm always the one opening stuff. I know how much she loves opening gifts. Don't you?
I do. Somehow.
But thank you, seriously, guys. Like, we're always excited to receive anything, and this is our first thing. So thank you, Lee, so much for this. What you got? Aww. Let me show it to you guys real quick. It's an anniversary card, which is gorgeous. Butterflies. Well, let's read it. On your anniversary, sending love and best wishes to a special couple on your special day. Super sweet. There's something awesome in here. But let's keep reading the card first.
Okay.
Just a little something. Wishing you both many more years of love, happiness, and sharing. Happy anniversary with love, Lee and Christine.
Thank you.
Stinking cute.
That is
And
so
adorable.
sweet.
And I love the inside, the butterfly. But there's gifts inside the card too. But the card's awesome. I love cards. You know this. Look at that. Look at that. I'm taking mine off the thing. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Well, I'm keeping mine on. I got a Natasha necklace. You know how hard that is to find in America?
Very hard to
How
find
did you
in
find that?
Natasha.
How did you find that in the United Kingdom? Like, seriously, like, finding that in America?
I guess they know better.
My name. So what you got?
Mine is Debbie. It seems to have come apart in the mail, but that's okay. I'm really good at
Oh,
fixing
she can
things.
fix that. Don't feel bad. She can fix that.
So I will fix
She's got a
that.
Debbie necklace. That's so cool. Yeah, she's easy.
Yeah.
She's great at fixing stuff. But how neat is that? Natasha.
Oh, cool.
I mean, I never find my name is always the one that's on
I
like
know.
the thing where you never find anything.
You can't find a mug. You can't find a keychain.
Yeah, never.
Valentine's bracelet.
That's so awesome. Lee, thank you and Christine so much. That means a lot to us.
Yes.
It's so cool. Like, I did not expect that at all. And it's super sweet. That's so cool. And it came from England.
That's right.
That makes me happy. I will cherish this. That is so incredibly sweet. The card's beautiful, and we really appreciate that so much. So thank you guys so much. If anyone else ever feels so inclined, our P.O. Box information is in the description of all of our videos and on our channel's
Yes.
about section as well. Not saying that you should, but not like I don't have a 40th
Well,
birthday.
talking about that,
Just saying.
Natasha's turning 40, and she's been talking about.
I like the Union Jack flag. I would on anything and everything. No one by any means has to send us anything, but that was just so cool. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and the card is just so cute. I love butterflies. I love everything that flies. I have a bird obsession. Just wanted to show you guys again. I'm a bird nerd, and I'm unapologetically so.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much. And then the whole there's the handwritten part. That means a lot to me. It's that personal touch is just so sweet and thoughtful. And thank you again. So we're gonna get on with this video and learn about what powers does the Queen of England actually have, because we have absolutely zero idea. Don't we?
We don't know. That's why we're here to learn.
So we're gonna get into this and learn about this stuff. Alrighty. Ready, Freddie?
I am ready.
So a short while ago, we put out a video about the fact that Queen Elizabeth II neither needs a passport nor a driving license, thanks to a quirk of British law. But what other powers does the Queen of many titles have, and what could she theoretically do if she decided to flex the full might of the authority that she wields? As it turns out, thanks to the royal prerogative, a terrifying amount, if she really felt like it, or at least that's assuming Parliament went by the letter of the law and that the people didn't decide to stage a small revolt. In reality, the Queen rarely exerts even a fraction of the power that she theoretically wields, as it's kept in check by the only person in the UK who can tell her what to do, and that's herself. This is very much a calculated move on her part in order to stay in the good graces of her subjects. She also voluntarily pays her taxes, even though she's not technically obligated to, and that helps with people's opinion of her. Not only does she avoid openly flexing her political might, she also tends to keep her opinions outside of the public sphere. As historian Frank Prohaska notes, the real secret of royal influence is saying nothing. And anything the Queen does say publicly is pretty anodyne. The minute a monarch or many of the royals say anything remotely political or opinionated, they alienate people and they lose some power. This silence played a large part in how the British monarchy survived post-World War I, when other European royal families didn't. In fact, for nearly 2 decades now, the monarchy has regularly had polls run and focus groups put together to keep track of how the general public feels about them and their various actions. They also have on payroll individuals whose job it is to ensure the Queen stays in the public eye and in a way that is most likely to endear her to her subjects.
I'm just gonna pause there because that is interesting and it makes sense. I realize I've never heard anything political from the royal family.
I never thought about it.
I hadn't either. That's what makes me realize, oh yeah. Very different from Americans' political stuff. We're not going to have a political discussion. and for the love of God in the comments, can we please not do that today on this video? Let's just please not. No, it's just, never, like you said, never thought of it, but that makes, okay.
And that makes sense.
And I feel like she's probably, she's just always seemed to be very, very just, what's the word, reserved, It takes, of course, her role incredibly serious.
Yes.
So I would see her definitely towing the line very straight and narrow and making sure, she doesn't rock the boat or anything like that. But at the same time, she takes her duties and her job and she cares for people, from what I've seen, very seriously. And I respect the crap out of the woman.
Yes.
But I don't know that much about her. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Stays in the public eye and in a way that is most likely to endear her to her subjects. Similar to politicians who rely on the voting public, with each public change she presents, right down to the carrying of a cell phone or not, carefully calculated in terms of the impact it might have. While this may seem only self-serving, the Queen has a very lengthy track record as an admirable public servant and is also acutely aware that she is a prominent public face representing her subjects, so is keen on avoiding being viewed in a bad light, lest she in turn paints them in a bad light by her actions. As she noted at the tender age of 21 in a speech to the Commonwealth she gave on her birthday, I declare before you all that my whole life, whether it be long or short, shall be devoted to your service and the service of our great imperial family, to which we all belong. Surprisingly, for many years the full extent of exactly what powers the Queen handed off to the government, but technically retained, weren't publicly known. That is, until 2003, when the government released a partial list of the things it can do on the Queen's behalf. For the most part, the list confirmed that the government could do things to save the Queen time, such as issue or revoke passports, which simply wouldn't be a feasible thing to be the sole prerogative of the Crown in a modern society. However, some were actually slightly worried by some of the things she could do, like declare war, which under rules of royal prerogative can be done without consulting Parliament. On top of that, the Queen is totally immune from prosecution and is considered above the law in the UK.
Well,
and further, as a head of state, she also enjoys...
Okay, in what regards?
Yeah, that's a little.
Like, can she just like do whatever she wants, go rob a bank, you know, and not go to jail?
That's what it sounds like.
I can't buy that that's the truth on that one. But that's a shocking fact.
Well, I guess she would avoid court, but
I know that's probably
could she be
stupid.
overthrown or?
Yeah, I was kidding about that. I know she can't rob a bank. Please, I think sometimes people misunderstand my sarcasm
Right.
for stupidity, and it's not. It's really just sarcasm. But no, that's interesting. The little piece he showed there from the speech she gave when she was 20 or 21, he said, pretty much summed up what I was just saying. You know, she really does take her title very seriously.
Yes.
And that she just seems like she has just given she given her whole life to the service of her people. Whether you like her or don't like her, you know, the woman has still given her life to serve her empire, her, you know, kingdoms. There you go. Trying to find the words. It's just different than here. So
That's true.
But yeah. Sorry, there's a lot of information to take in here, so. And he talks fast.
And is considered above the law in the UK. And further, as a head of state, she also enjoys diplomatic immunity in any foreign country she happens to visit. As such, she could commit any crime conceivable anywhere on Earth, at least as the law currently stands, and suffer no legal consequence.
Okay, now I'm not joking, and my sarcasm's not there. Can she rob a bank? She could commit any crime conceivable anywhere on Earth, at least as the law currently stands, and suffer no legal consequences for doing so. Are you confused on that?
I don't think so.
Am I overthinking that one?
She could do it legally, but that doesn't mean there's still not going to be repercussions in other ways.
It says suffer no legal consequences.
Legal.
I was just excited that she could rob a bank if she wanted to. I was like, good for her. Not that she needs it.
Being the Queen of England, she probably owns the bank.
Like I said, she doesn't need it. That's just kind of cool.
Anywhere on Earth, at least as the law currently stands, and suffer no legal consequences for doing so. However, as with everything else, she's generally exceptionally careful to ensure that she doesn't break any laws. Of course, what she does in private is completely her own affair, despite her prominent political position, as she is exempt from freedom of information requests. So, moving on, because technically speaking the people of Britain are not citizens but subjects of the monarch, she could have anyone she wanted arrested and presumably seize their property or land for the crown. Speaking of which, the Queen owns all of the seabeds around the UK and can commandeer any ship found in British waters for service to the realm. Oddly enough, she also has first dibs on any whales that wash up on shore. The Queen could also administer any manner of punishment to an individual who offended or otherwise displeased her, as the Crown has prerogative power to keep the peace within the realm. And since she's immune from prosecution, nobody could really do anything if this punishment wasn't entirely within the scope of the law. If the government tried to stop her, the Queen could decimate the British political landscape by dissolving Parliament and appointing anyone she felt like as Prime Minister. This is because it's the Queen's duty to appoint the Prime Minister, and she could, in theory, appoint anyone she wanted to the position, regardless of the way the British public voted in an election.
Okay. That's fascinating and cool. Has she ever done that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry, I just think I want to rewind that back, because that's just interesting. It's interesting. I was going to pause, then he kind of answered the question I was getting ready to ask. Yeah, I didn't know she could. Did he say hold on, let's just go back and watch it.
Isn't entirely within the scope of the law. If the government tried to stop her, the Queen could decimate the British political landscape by dissolving Parliament and appointing anyone she felt like as Prime Minister. This is because it's the Queen's duty to appoint the Prime Minister, and she could, in theory, appoint anyone she wanted to the position, regardless of the way the British public voted in an election. On top of that, in the event the Queen didn't like the outcome of an election, for instance, if she didn't like the replacement Parliament members that were voted in, she could just call for another one using royal prerogative until she got the Parliament she wanted. Not that she'd need to, because if she really wanted, she'd just bring in the army to keep everyone in line. But how does that work? How does she control the army? Well, that's because the Queen is also the commander-in-chief of the entire British military, with every officer, soldier, sailor, and pilot swearing allegiance to the crown and nobody else. They're not called Her Majesty's Armed Forces for nothing. Being considered the ultimate authority on all British military matters, the Queen could authorize a nuclear strike on France or make North Korea an ally, as she has the power to declare both war and peace with foreign nations. As for laws, well, technically the Queen can't create new laws, she can only sign them into law after they've been decided upon by Parliament. In fact, her royal assent is required to make the law official after being passed by Parliament in the first place. She could appoint ministers who'd make any laws she wanted a reality and then just sign them into law that way.
And that's, some of these things are very similar to America, and I'm sure we got that from you guys. But, of course, our president is commander-in-chief of our military.
Right.
I don't believe that they swear allegiance to our president, obviously, so much as the country. And then, of course, our president cannot make laws, but can veto them.
Mm-hmm.
So similar things there. So it's nice to hear some similarities I feel comfortable with, because I'm used to. But still interesting. I feel like there's more that he should be telling us here. I know it's not done yet, but it's not far, but I feel like there's more.
There's always more.
Well,
it's just
I
giving
want
a
deeper
scratching the
information.
surface.
I want deeper info.
Just scratching the surface.
She could appoint ministers who'd make any laws she wanted a reality and then just sign them into law that way. Beyond royal assent, there's also the Queen's consent, which requires she give her consent before any law that affects the interests of the monarchy can even be discussed at all in Parliament. Okay. She actually has used this power before, such as in 1999 when she refused to allow the discussion of a bill that would have given Parliament power to authorize military strikes in Iraq instead of needing her authorization. So, well, that's all on the political side, but it doesn't stop here. The Queen technically has a sort of power not only over her subjects' physical beings, but also their souls. Well, how? Well, that's because she's also the head of the Church of England, including having the power to appoint archbishops and power over many other such matters concerning the Church. As for most of these powers that technically allow her to rule with an iron fist, as previously mentioned, the Queen is hesitant to ever use them in such a way that would displease her subjects, and certainly isn't about to disregard their representatives in Parliament. However, these powers still exist for a variety of reasons, including potentially being needed in times of extreme crisis. That said, just because she isn't in the practice of exercising her powers against the will of the people, it doesn't mean she isn't occasionally an active political powerhouse in private. Extremely well-respected and known worldwide with the ability to bend the ear of most heads of state, the influence the Queen wields is difficult to quantify, but, as noted in an article discussing why the BBC named the Queen the most powerful woman in the world in their list of 100 most powerful women, Her Majesty's power is more about influence. A discreet nod of the head, a polite word in the ear of a Prime Minister at their weekly meeting, or a strategic patronage of a cause being overlooked by the government is how she can indirectly affect our world without us even knowing. Well, to conclude, the Queen has many
Before he
powers
concludes what they just said there, which I hope will pull up. Her Majesty's power is more about influence, a discreet nod of the head, a polite word in the ear of a Prime Minister at their weekly meeting, or a strategic patronage of a cause being overlooked by the government. It's how she can indirectly affect our world without us even knowing. That's some real power.
That is.
That's some real
For
power.
sure.
It is to me. Like, that's impressive. I don't know what I'm trying. I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know how to say it, but that to me is just like something to be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to say anything. You don't have to actually do something that's grand and over
it's
the top. Just a nice, subtle, not happy with that.
Yeah, I don't know anything much about the royal family. It's not been a topic that I've ever really been all that interested in. There are a lot of Americans that eat that stuff up and love it, I mean, I was saddened, obviously, when Princess Diana was killed. I was actually awake and watching TV when that happened, so I saw it live. But I've always respected the Queen and respected the monarchy, but again, didn't know a whole lot about it. about it. But at the same time, I just think that says a lot. And I wonder if Prince Charles I would assume he'd be a lot like his mother in the fact of taking it, as serious. Of course, he takes it seriously, but towing the line and, being similar to her. So it would, and sadly, we'll find out because of her advanced age. And I hope she's around for a long time.
World without us even knowing. Well, to conclude, the Queen has many powers she could theoretically legally use to her own ends unless her subjects and Parliament simply decided to stage a revolution. However, she generally avoids doing anything overt that might upset her subjects and otherwise simply works in the background, more or less in an advisory role when she feels there is a need. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. Now, if you are interested in protecting your privacy online, well, then you really should have a VPN.
Okay. There's always some extra stuff at the end of his videos. We've only watched a couple, but seems to be a bunch of. So, I mean, I felt like there was a lot left to be desired in that.
Yeah, there's a lot more to learn.
I do have a fascination. And, people asked us before, what is our attraction to the United Kingdom? And, earlier today I was thinking about this. And, for me, it is like a love affair. It's a fantasy because you guys are our cousins, and we're cousins. You're the motherland for a lot of Americans. Not all, because not everybody comes from the United Kingdom or England or wherever, Scotland. But it's a fantasy world too because you see the old movies and stuff with castles. And one of my favorite movies is Elizabeth with Cate Blanchett playing the first Queen Elizabeth. And I absolutely adore that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time, but loved it. And that was fascinating, But, back in those times, of course, there was different powers. When did it shift? When did things shift to be more of, towing the line and making the subjects happy? But I'm just curious, when did that change? When did a lot of the powers kind of differentiate to being more of less used, I guess, right? That's my question, but I'd be curious to know how many of you already knew a lot of the stuff in this video, if you learned anything new.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume nothing, because I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you everything about our government, because there's a lot to it, as there is to every
it's always very complex.
Every country's have different things, and I know he left things out, of course he did. But yeah, I'm interested to learn a little bit more about this, if there is any more information.
Right.
Yeah.
Share with us in the comments. Anything else you might want to add to what we just learned?
Yeah, please do. And please like the video. And again, please consider subscribing to our channel. We hope that you liked it. I definitely did learn some stuff today.
Oh yeah,
for sure, more than I knew. I only knew like 3 things, so let's be honest. But it was still fun to watch. I just wish there had been more in-depth stuff.
We'll have to find more videos.
But thank you, Queen Elizabeth. Thank you, Queen Elizabeth. You're never going to see this, but thank you for being a sweet, nice, kind woman, and just respecting the crap out of your kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, a respectful woman.
Ruler.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We respect you, and that's just us 2 girls here in America. But thank you to you guys. We respect you, and we hope to see you again on our next video on Wednesday.
Yes.
And we hope you have a great rest of your weekend. What's left of it. And thanks again to Lee and Christine for our first P.O. Box gift. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Until next time.
God bless.